you've had some time to look back on it. What do you assess of the Blues' performance in that game overall?
Well, there was a couple of sort of big sections. There was the first 10 minutes, we started the game okay, and then we just couldn't defend 2 penalties. They came down and they were sharp on the edge, and they had a nice kick to hammer. They both come up with tries. But that next 60 minutes, we got on the grind and scrapped our way back in with a couple of tries and got to the front. There was a point there where we're 2 points ahead. We got a restart, and Daly Cherry Evans had a couple of big kicks. He had a 40-20, and then he had the dropout where they got the ball back. And that was a disappointing part. Not retrieving that dropout, and that hurt us. And then, we just got to say, I think Queensland's last 7 minutes were great, and we just weren't as good as them in that department. They come up with some big plays, obviously Munster, and then the kick at the end of the game. But they controlled that ball in that last, while they had the player down, they pretty much controlled the ball the entire time. And I've got to say, it was one of those games where I'd like to think that we let it go, but I've got to say, Queensland made sure he took that one off us.
Well, now it is a big challenge going up to Suncorp Stadium, knowing that you need a win. What do you say to the team in the sheds after Wednesday night? How do you start to have them prepared early for the challenge that lies ahead?
Well, I think it's important that you go over the game quickly, and they're going to be going through the game over their mind, and I suppose they get to play on the weekend with their footy team, so they go back to something familiar. We just spoke about some instances in the game, and then pretty much you've got to move on. You've got to go on, you've got to perform well for your club, and then after next week's game, you've got to get some healthy players and away you go again. But extremely disappointing. To be in that position, 2 points up, you get a drop out against you. They end up with a player down, and to not win that was pretty disappointing.
Joey, in post-game, you spoke about the Blues attack. That was an area that you saw that there needed to be a lot more improvement. Where exactly do you see it?
A lot of balls went to ground. A lot of the passes, especially when they're going wide, especially to the right side, to Tom Trebojevich's side, a lot of balls sort of hit the ground. It's just, I think, just connecting from the middle of the field to the edge. Got to get some more ball to the edge, clean ball, and just probably simplify how they're going to run out wide. Because there's great strike out wide. It was sort of a funny game. It was really funny. It was a funny origin, and a couple of things contributed to that. The penalties. There was, what have I got? There's 14 penalties blown, where normally it's 7 or 8, and there was also 4 6-to-goes. So it was sort of very stop-start. New South Wales, a lot of our ball was either inside the 20 of Queensland or coming out of trouble. There was no sort of that middle field attack. And it's the hardest spot, it might sound funny, but inside that 10 metres of the opposition, it's the hardest spot to attack, especially it's slippery at night. So, I found it a strange. I don't know whether it was because we called the game on an oval surface and we're a long way away. It just felt different. I don't know what the stats showed you boys, but it just felt like a different sort of origin.